It's now been made official. Daniel Ricciardo is leaving McLaren, and who is going to replace him and where Daniel's going to go for 2023 isn't certain yet. His contract with McLaren was meant to come to a close at the end of next year's season, but McLaren clearly wasn't very happy with Daniel's performance and has pushed to end it faster by the end of this year. And this has probably cost him a lot. Now, this is currently speculation as nothing has been said about his early release deal, but it was known to be a couple weeks back that Daniel Ricciardo asked for a buyout of $21 million, $6 million more than he's paid each year. And with a settlement being agreed to by both parties, it's likely Ricciardo did in fact get his bag. Daniel's career so far has been one of quite a lot of disappointments. He started strong in the early 2010s as a driver for the Red Bull Academy, driving for then Toro Rosso, now AlphaTauri. In 2014, he moved to the senior team Red Bull, where he put in some impressive drives over the years, and at one point it was a common expectation that Daniel Ricciardo would be the World Drivers' Champion at some point. But that never came to be. However, he did win many fans over from his personality and humor alone. Going forward with his Red Bull career, Daniel Ricciardo was slowly but surely being outshined by his younger and far less experienced teammate Max Verstappen. And he decided in 2018, in one of the most bizarre and probably regrettable decisions of his life, that he was going to leave Red Bull, one of the top-end teams, to join Renault, which definitely was one of the teams. And yeah, this didn't go too well, and it pretty much shocked everyone, from fans to the media to most of all Christian Horner, the Red Bull team principal. His time at Renault was plagued by bad performances, car reliability issues, and COVID-19. And throughout his 2 years with the outfit, he never really had a notable performance. In fact, his best ever finish with the team was 4th at Silverstone. And that would have been 6th too if it wasn't for Carlos Sainz and Valtteri Bottas having to retire. But things were looking up, as at the end of his 2 years with Renault, he was set to join McLaren, a historical team, and whilst they're not as good as Red Bull, it was still a step towards the right direction. At least, that's what you'd think, but that's not what happened, as after the first year, it was clear that the McLaren car was not one that Daniel could get to grips with. The McLaren car is famously different to that of the rest of the grid, and a car like that would surely be a struggle for a driver who's gotten used to more conventional cars over the 9 years or so he's had in the sport. And this was shown by Daniel being continuously outperformed by his much younger teammate Lando Norris, who was averaging 0.3 seconds faster on each lap time during qualifying, and that was over the 1.5 years they've been driving together. And if you're not familiar, in qualifying, 0.3 seconds can be the difference between first place and 10th. However, despite this, Daniel did in fact get a first place finish at Monza around this time last year, made even better for the team as Norris was in second right behind Daniel. And a win is something that even the faster Norris is yet to achieve. But despite one win, Norris still finished 45 points ahead of Daniel last year, and is currently 57 points ahead of him this season. And that's a gap that's just likely to continue to grow. But in fairness to Daniel, I'm sure that the McLaren hasn't delivered to his expectations either, as whilst the car last year was just about passable as a top tier car, the car this year is an embarrassment for the team. And whilst the McLaren has had the occasional good outing, it's barely making it as a middle of the pack car at this point. And in an even more twisted bit of irony, the team that Ricciardo left, Renault, which is now Alpine, is performing very well with a much faster car. But they have been let down on the points with the bad luck that Fernando Alonso keeps getting. But despite that, they are still ahead of McLaren in the Constructors' Championship. So what's next for McLaren and Daniel Ricciardo? Well, McLaren are yet to reveal anything, saying that they will show their driver lineup for 2023 shortly. But in reality, I don't think we have to wait that long, as all of this controversy has come about for one man, another man from down under, Oscar Piastri. Oscar Piastri has been the test driver for Alpine for the past few years, and at the start of the summer break, it was announced that he was going to be replacing Fernando Alonso in 2023, which sounds like a fantastic opportunity for the Australian. But no, as he refused, much to Alpine's surprise, to join the team. And that was mostly a surprise for them, as they have a contract with him. But Piastri stood strong, refusing to join the team, which led to speculation as the only reason you would turn down a strongly performing team such as Alpine is if you had an offer from a team that is usually better than the team you're currently with, but saying that they are performing worse than the team you're currently with, but either way, they likely, maybe, could be better than them once again in the future. I'm of course talking about McLaren. People guessed he had an offer from McLaren, and they were right. McLaren had offered Piastri a seat on the team for 2023, but once word of this broke out, then people were confused as Daniel's contract had another year left on it. So Daniel then put out an offer saying that he wanted $21 million for his release from the team. And as I said, we don't know what he got exactly, but what is $1 or $2 million less when you're talking about tens of millions. But now, what does all of this mean for Ricciardo? What team is he going to join? Well, once again, we don't know yet, but there's a few possible options. First and most obviously is Alpine. And whilst yeah, it is a bit awkward going back to your old team after you had a fling with another team, it might be his best option. And even the team boss for Alpine has said that they would not be against having Ricciardo back on the team. And as an extra positive, Alpine is performing better than McLaren at this point, so that's just a win for Daniel. Next up could be AlphaTauri. Pierre Gasly has been said that he wants to leave the team as he sees no future of them, as Red Bull seem very comfortable with Verstappen and Perez on the main team. But joining AlphaTauri could easily be seen as 3 steps forward, 50 steps back, as AlphaTauri was the first team that Daniel was ever on back in 2012 and 2013 when it was still Toro Rosso. Next would be Haas. The team has seen a vast improvement this year, much to the dismay of a certain Russian oligarch, but team boss Günther Steiner has been less than satisfied with the performance of Mick Schumacher, saying that he's cost the team too much and that he'll have to score some points to secure his seat. And whilst he did then score some points at Silverstone and the Red Bull Ring, it might still not be enough to make sure that he's got a seat for 2023. Plus, if they can keep up the momentum, having 2 strong drivers like Magnussen and Ricciardo could score the team some much needed points to get some sponsorships. And finally is Williams. Whilst everybody, and I mean everybody, loves Latifi, he's got to go. Latifi is easily the worst driver on the grid. Not only is he the only driver not to score points so far this year, he hasn't even got close to doing it. His best finish over 13 races has been 12th at Silverstone, which had 6 DNFs. And you know who else had a best finish of 12th this year? Nico Hülkenberg, who has literally only taken part in 2 races when he was replacing Sebastian Vettel at the start of the year when he had COVID-19. So yeah, looks like there's a free seat at Williams. But the only issue is Daniel is going to have to receive quite a pay cut, as he definitely hasn't been performing to the point that matches his 15 million yearly salary that he's been earning so far. And if he does get picked up by a team like Williams, who famously doesn't have that much money, he's going to be looking at far, far less. I mean, just to prove this, Alex Albon and Nicholas Latifi are only being paid $3 million between them, which is $12 million less than Daniel is currently getting. So the best option for Daniel is for him to join Alpine and hope that they can keep up their recent improvements. And who knows, maybe Daniel can make Ocon more interesting, but to be honest, I think it's more likely that Daniel would win the championship than do that. But what do you guys think? Do you think Ricciardo should join Alpine, or do you think he should join another team? Let me know in the comments down below. But other than that, I'll see you next time to discuss how Max has changed F1 forever.